This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of the Still a Man podcast. Well, before we get started, let me go ahead and apologize to the family of Trey Reed last week. Unfortunately, I was calling this young man by the wrong last name throughout the show. So I want to apologize for that because I tell my panel members to make sure they check all the information, fact checked, and so we can speak factual. And unfortunately, I didn't do a good job with my representation on last week. So there's absolutely no excuse for that because you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I will do better. That being said, let's get to tonight's show. Well, people, a lie don't care who tells it. And yes. These people have been lying a long time and they've been telling us what they want us to know. And they've been showing us what they want to show. And unfortunately, we just wasn't getting the truth. These people was giving us false information. What? Thanks to the new Black Panther Party, we seem to got more truth now. We seem to have more truth now than what we had prior to their investigation. All right. And let me just tell y'all too, this Mississippi, I said it once, I'm gonna say it again. This is a very bad place. Very bad people. And I'm saying that because unfortunately the nature of the beast, the people there, they feel like they live a certain way, and if you don't live there, then you shouldn't be around there because you are interfering in the way they live their lives. And that is the black people, some black people of that state, and some white people of that state. And that is just unfortunate. They said that all the schools in Mississippi were integrated. There was no more segregation as of, I believe, 1960. But yeah, that's not true neither. They've been lying because there's still a white side and a black side of town. And apparently that's what was taking place on Delta State University. There was a white side and there was a black side. Well, so let's get down to it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we can get some answers about the young man's death. All right. We got Patsy, we got Robert, we got Gregory, and we got Tanya. And I guess we'll be joined by others at some point during this discussion. All right, first question, ladies and gentlemen. How important is it for both the parents and children to do their research before enrolling and visiting these institutions of higher learning? So simply put, how important is it for the family to do their research about the towns of these colleges that their children are about to uh become
Kay
students
has
of.
joined the meeting.
All right, Patsy, you first.
Um, I think it's very important that they do the research and um figure out what the school motto is and how diverse it is and integrated it is. Um, just like the overall town itself, the college is in. Um, and I also think it's important to whether or not um in certain college towns um to really invest in whether or not you have family in that particular town or close to it, so that way when you send your child away to a college, I feel like you ought to at least know a few people. If it's not family, at least some really good friends that might live in the area. So that way they have someone to kind of like visit and stay connected to.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if you have like a few of their friends going to the same college and kind of like get an idea of how they're liking it and what their take on that particular school is
Okay.
about and how they're feeling about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Tanya, how important is it for the family to do research about these towns in which these institutions of higher learning are located in before enrolling?
It's extremely important, especially in a state like Mississippi, given the history of what's been going on in that state. And a lot of things that Patsy said, I agree with. And also, you need to know what the makeup is, like she said, and knowing what the history is. And I would even go as far as maybe, especially given the climate of what's going on today, maybe have him go somewhere else on another side of the state or in another state. Period. So go to a school where there is family.
Okay. Robbie, what do you say? How important is it for family to basically do an investigation of these institutions of higher learning before having their children enrolled?
Like I alluded to in our first take of this tragedy, I always stress that it's very important to do research before you just up and go get an education or take place of employment or reside in a different state or country because you won't have to be welcoming unwanted surprises like this.
Okay. Duchess, what do you say? How important is it for a family to research the towns of these institutions of higher learning before having their children enrolled in them?
It's very important because you need to be well aware of where your child is going when they're no longer in your protective care.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think it's very important for there to be some type of actual road trip when you do it in the physical sense. You get in the car, and you take a ride down there, and you see what's going on in the surrounding town. Check
I
out the
mean, economically, that might not be possible. I mean, you think you could take the whole family for a ride across, I don't know, a couple of states? That's
maybe
not
the principal
completely
parties.
possible.
Maybe the principal parties, the people that are potentially enrolling in it, should probably go with a few family members, or you can just do it virtual. You can go online and you can do it too, that way too. But I don't think you get no truth that way. I think once you go in person, you get to really experience the town, the people, and the whole mood. But yeah, that's my views on it. Gregory, you with us?
Yes, sir, I am. I reckon so.
All right, well, let's get your views.
You said should the parents do some research on these cities? Don't send your kid to our city.
I'm waiting.
Yes, they should do research. You definitely should be aware that America is raised and built off of racism.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So again, little fun fact. They said this town is not segregated anymore, and they said the college and the high schools have been integrated. And don't believe this. I feel like this is old hate, old evil, and these culprits, these unsaid suspects as of right now, I feel like these are the offspring of the monsters that once terrorized this town, this state, if they don't still do so. I mean, they actually have a presence. So I just feel like these are the seeds of these monsters, and they've taught them well. And I don't care if it's a male or female. Y'all, yeah, these are the babies of these monsters. Sean, welcome. Just in time for the first question.
Good
Um,
evening, everyone.
we are having a good evening. We are having a second conversation regarding the death of Trey Reed. And the first question is, how important is it for the people that plan on enrolling their children into these institutions of higher learning to do their research before doing so?
It is very important because, I mean, that's those of us that are parents that have enrolled, that have children, that's like uh, parenting 101 when it comes to education. Knowing the institution and the background of where you're planning to send your children to.
Sean, so how did baby boy make it out? Did he get off right? Did you guys do any in-depth like research before sending him off?
Oh yes, we sure did, and we made sure that that everything that he was interested in wanting to study was actually catered to what he wanted. Um, we really looked at the dynamics of the ratio of people that were like him, meaning um, racially, economically, socially, the whole nine. Made sure that it was a place that he could fit in
Okay.
and would fit in and would cater to him in that manner.
Um, Guys, hold tight. I want to ask Sean another question. Sean, upon hearing what happened to the young man Trey Reed, did it give you pause? Did it make you second guess about allowing your son to venture out and about?
Um, I guess it didn't. give me a pause or anything like that, because for me, I tried to um I think I shared this with some of you all privately. Like I've I'm very try to be close knit with my kids to where none of them were allowed to go to school more than an hour, 2 hours away from home. And, you know, whether they wanted to leave the state or anything like that, they had to take into consideration that daddy didn't want them to go anywhere. He wanted his babies nearby. So in case anything did take place, I could get to them in a timely fashion.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I've always been that way. So this didn't change anything for me. It just, you know, reassured how I've always felt.
Okay. Anybody got a comment to that, or anybody want to add to what I just asked Sean about did it make you second guess about sending your loved ones off to out of state colleges?
Well, my daughter is at school with my grandson right now doing a college tour type of getting information college night. And those are definitely going to be questions that I'm going to have her contemplate when it comes time for choosing a school for him to go to.
Hold up, baby.
Yeah, text her for me and tell her I'm concerned. Tell her to ask them about the security.
Okay.
Anybody else? All right, we're gonna move on to number two. All right, if you're not answering the question, mute your phone. All right. So again, in the beginning of the show, I said a lie don't care who tells it. Well, guess what, people? Mississippi is some lying mofos because they lied to us. No surprise. They told us that the young man's body was found hanging from a tree. According to the new Black Panther Party, Trey Reed's body was found posted up, propped up against a 2-foot tree with a belt around his neck without a buckle. So please tell me how that coincides with their findings. They said he was hanging from a tree. That's what all the media said. Black man found hanging from a tree. Black student found hanging from a tree, Delta State University. Young man found hanging from a tree, Delta State University. Okay. Who am I going to let tackle this first? Gregory, are you surprised at their findings, at the new report, the new findings, the investigation done by the new Black Panther Party? Are you surprised with their findings?
I'm not surprised at all because when the story originally dropped, you had the cousin or the supposedly cousin coming out saying that the boy's bones was broken and all this other stuff, and people ignored that too. So it's just crazy because I actually worked with a couple of people from Mississippi that are black, and they told me, anyways, you have no business being on the white side of town once the sun goes down, which is a crazy thought to have as a person from up north because it's not like that here for us. I can go wherever the hell I want when the sun goes down. So when you see that type of stuff, just know that they're trying to send some type of message.
Okay. Patsy, was you surprised? Are you surprised at what the new Black Panther Party found? That there was a discrepancy in the initial report and their investigation regarding his body, the positioning, where the location, where it was found, and how it was found?
No, because in a lot of southern states, you got a lot of lying MFers. They really racist, really strict on um who comes to their side of town if you're not white. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised. Um, yeah.
Okay. Robin, another Mississippi cover up. Was you surprised at what the new Black Party, the new Black Panther Party found as opposed to what the Mississippi police officials and Delta State University officials reported, whereas the positioning of Trey Reed's body?
Not at all. Because, as again, I alluded to this in our first take in on this, that my theory was it truly probably happened in the room, and that they took this body and they put it over there to symbolize our beliefs of what they have done to our people. So that was a statement they was making and a joke of us at the same time.
A mockery, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Duchess, what's your views?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
So, according to the initial report, they found Trey Reed hanging from a tree. But the new report states, based upon the investigation and the findings of the new Black Panther Party, they were told by witnesses that young Trey's body was first found positioned or propped up against a 2-foot tree with very thin branches. And he had a buckleless belt, a belt without a buckle around his neck. Not tied, just hanging around his neck. Are you surprised at these new findings?
Um, yes, and it seems somewhat, well, definitely the two stories don't match, and it seems rather not impossible, but implausible
Mm-hmm.
that the scenario that they're giving and what is now these initial findings are finding that um definitely screams of foul play and um placement for to get people riled up in a certain type of manner. Just seems very suspicious.
You're damn right it's foul play. And I agree with you totally when you I think they are trying to get people riled up. And not just any people, the black residents of that town. Sean, what's your views?
Not surprised at all. I'm going to allude back to something Gregory said that some of his co-workers said. I'm not surprised because Mississippi was one of the states that actually that had towns that practice sundown states and towns, rather, not the state, the sundown towns and cities,
Gonna
which
hang 'em
meant
up high at sundown.
that's it. And that, there were certain areas where, you wasn't supposed to be in after dark. Now, although they may not technically practice it like that, I mean, not practice, but say it like that, it is known that, there are certain parts of the town that you probably shouldn't be in at a certain time because anything can happen and justice just might not never be served.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. T, what you say, Tanya?
I say that I'm not surprised about the findings. I agree with what everybody on the panel has said, and I'm also going to say that yes, they're trying to um, amp up discord, and spin some kind of narrative to benefit what they was trying to stir up, because is the media is becoming you can't get the truth from the media these days. They are all bought and sold. So you're gonna get what they want you to know, what how they want the story to be, and not what it actually is. So I'm not surprised about it, not at all. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Robert said about. I think that it because it was conflicting stories, it probably happened in the room, and then they put him out there to try to spin that narrative about he was lynched to get people riled up, because this happened right after Charlie Kirk, right?
Yes, it did.
So yeah, so they was trying to get that racist narrative thing going. You took ours, so now we're gonna take one of yours. So yeah,
It
it
was
didn't go.
multiple hangings simultaneously, Tonya.
Yeah, so the narrative didn't go the way that they thought it was gonna go. So they tried to create a narrative, and it still ain't going the way that they wanted to go, because people ain't really falling for that. They know
No.
what the truth really is.
I'm gonna agree with Robert. I agree. I think that this assault, this murder took place at a different locale, probably in his bedroom, and that's why there was a slip of the tongue when they said that that's where they found him first, and that's what the first report was said to the grandfather. The police officers came and told him that, and I believe they tried to cover it up and they tried to make it look like a suicide, but they was not true as they thought they was, because again, I think it was a rush job. It's just y'all some wicked mother effers. That's all I got to say. Again, a lie don't care who tell it. So we gonna tell the truth and shame the devil. All right. So question number 3. According to the students of Delta State University, there are cameras posted throughout the campus. In fact, there is a camera posted right across from the supposed suicide site. So, if that is so, why don't y'all just rewind the video? Kiana?
I heard you talking, but did you ask a question?
Yes, I did. The question is, if there are so many cameras posted throughout the campus, why don't they just rewind the cameras that are directly in front of the supposed site of the suicide?
Because they're lying.
Mm-hmm.
The truth, or what really happened, can't be backed up by the footage. I mean, again, if that were the case, I believe they would be quick to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
That footage would have been out there within 48 hours,
Mm-hmm.
because they're trying to backtrack, fix it, doctor it, erase it, whatever they're doing. That's why it's taking so long for this footage to come forward.
Mm-hmm. Robert, what do you say?
You want to know something about the cameras?
Yeah.
I didn't hear the question. Sorry, you can.
So I want to know, of course, so based upon what the students are saying, there are cameras throughout the campus. So if that is the case, and they also stated that there is a camera that is positioned directly across from the supposed site of the suicide. So why are they reluctant to rewind that video? Why are they so reluctant to basically show the people the video, the public?
Maybe because they thought that we was never going to get here. They held up because once again, I'm gonna say our people is supposed to be stupid. We're not gonna ask enough questions. We're not gonna investigate this thoroughly to get the right answer. But this most of the time they say this is what happened. Some cases we believe it, and then there's some that doubt it, but it's not enough. So I'm gonna say there was a camera that was facing the front side of the tree, and there's a camera I think to believe that's facing the back side of the tree. So at any time, if my theory is right, that this kid was brought over there and propped against the tree, um, with a belt without a buckle. My next reason would be why the videotapes ain't being shown, because if he did have marks around his neck and it was made to believe a strangulation or a hanging or a suicide hanging took place, this would be, a distraction, the marks from the belt. And that only could have happened on this 2-foot tree that is so called female tree, perhaps. Someone had to be on the other side of that branch holding that belt to make sure they strangle this person out. If you want to make it look like that, let the belt go. Of course, it's going to slip. He'll hit against the tree or wherever you put him against the tree, but that belt couldn't choke him out. And I don't believe how could he jump from the very top of that tree, putting his height and the height of the tree to hang himself. So someone would have to hang him on it and then let him go and lean him up against that if you say he was strangled.
So that is physically impossible, seeing that this guy is over 2 feet tall.
Mm, mm. You understand where I'm going with it? That's why those cameras ain't been shown.
Mm-hmm. Patsy, what's your views? The kids say that there are videos, cameras throughout the campus. So if this is the case, why are the Delta State University officials reluctant to show said videos footage? I should say, video footage.
Because if they do show it, they're gonna see, and they some of these whoever did it might have been their family members or students that are their family members, and they don't want their kids or their nieces, nephews, or whoever they are to these folks on campus to really show the family of Trey to let them know what really happened. And then that's going to cause more chaos, protests, and outright demand of prosecuting the folks that actually did this stuff.
Well said, well said. Gregory, what's your views?
The world is a stage. I'm just gonna connect a couple of points real quick. and you might think that I'm reaching and you might not. Charlie Kirkland and the Epstein files and all this stuff as a distraction. You got this guy that they painted a narrative as if he was an activist. So if you first seen him, you probably seen him talking some key points that probably was like, oh, this guy kind of making sense. But come to find out, this guy's a whole racist. And I'm only mentioning that because the guy Charlie Kirk is his whole little political assassination is based off a movie that they made in 1998 called Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage. And in that movie, the political speaker, he ends up getting assassinated. He ends up getting shot in the neck, the same likeliness as Charlie Kirk. But to top it off, the guy's name in the movie is Charlie Kirkland. You get what I'm saying? So you got that going on with this guy, and then they turn around and give you this because the reaction that they thought they was gonna get for this innocent whole milk guy being slain on the streets wasn't what people were saying. People started saying stuff like, "We don't give a fuck about this guy." So now they gave you something to give a fuck about. Let's act like we're hanging this black guy. He probably didn't really hang him, but probably beat him and broke all his bones and all that stuff. But that goes back to the Emmett Till thing again. Once he didn't they do the same thing to Emmett Till? So when you see stuff like this and them repeating history in these areas on these ley lines, it looks like some type of sacrificial ritual.
Okay. Tanya, what do you say? There's videos all over campus, but they still haven't shown the footage to the public. And in fact, they said there is no video that shows immediate signs of foul play.
Um, I'm gonna stick with what I think it happened in the room, and if there is no video, or they're not showing the video, it's because it's either some staff, the security has something to do with it, or a prominent member's child
Mm,
has something to do with it. They got connections that they don't want it to be seen, like a donor's child. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Sean,
that's my
so I'm sorry, T. You was
no,
finished?
that's my take. No, that was
Okay.
my take.
Sean?
Yeah, there's definitely a cover up going on here somewhere because from what I remember reading, there were cameras on campus, but that particular area where he was supposedly found, there was one camera that covered that whole entire area,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the angle that they think may not be suitable to put out there because of what it may or may not show.
Okay. I'm gonna give y'all a little additional insight. So, little fun fact. According to the new Black Panther Party's investigation, both the aerial footage shows you the location, the positionings of the cameras, and the on-ground investigation does so as well. So not only is there a camera right there on, I believe, the mess hall, the dining area that it's adjacent to the site of the alleged suicide. There's also a camera on a pole that overlooks that area as well. So again, what are we really talking about? Y'all, I feel like the reason I don't think there's no reluctance. I think you're not going to show the video because if you show that video, then it's going to show who the individuals are, or it's going to make them start rewinding all the videos throughout campus, and it's going to probably show that there's more than just that one murder that y'all are hiding. There's probably other issues, hate crimes that took place within that timeline on that day or within I'll say 48 hours or more. That's my views on it. Anybody else got a comment before we move on to the next one? Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. Question number 4. According to
Timmy has
eyewitnesses,
joined the meeting.
welcome, Timmy. According to eyewitnesses, Trey Reed's body was first discovered during the hour of 5 a.m. as opposed to the reported hour of 7 a.m. So again, a lie don't care who tells it, because y'all said that his body was found at, what did they say, 7:15, something like that in the morning? And y'all said it was found by someone running. So again, Timmy, how you feel about that? So the discrepancy in the time and stuff, does that indicate that they're lying, or is it just the eyewitnesses uncertain? Oh, mind you guys, another little fun fact. The young man, Trey Reed, went missing. He was on his way back to his campus room between 12:47 12:57 a.m. His friends went looking for him after he didn't check in. So again, when this body was found at 5 a.m. as opposed to 7 a.m., was it the children, his friends, that found him? And that's why they're trying to say otherwise, because they knew they saw him last? Timmy, go ahead.
The story is real. I would focus more on the school and the friends, the people, because somebody's seen something. But again, the school went to the news media early because they was trying to make sure that the story don't get spun and they don't want to be held responsible for something happening on the campus, so I think it's some type of cover up with the school and probably the the state or the city is trying to cover stuff up.
Okay. Patsy, what do you say? The eyewitnesses, meaning the students, said that his body was first found at 5 a.m. as opposed to the reported media time of 7 a.m. What do you say, Patsy?
I'm sorry, somebody done lied. That's all I got to say. Somebody done lied, and they got to figure out what's the truth and what's a lie, and yeah. Because a lot of times your friends ain't really gonna lie on you if they looking for you and then they find you at a certain place and it's not where you usually go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Robert, what do you say? The students said they found Trey at 5 a.m., but yet and still the media's account of the finding says the body was found during the hour 7 a.m. Are they purposely trying to mislead the viewers?
Wow. Wow. See, now I'm always thinking beyond the gates. I'm looking at this. If you were supposed to check in around 12 something a.m. in the morning.
He was on his way back to his dorm room, campus room at between 12:47 and 12:57 a.m.
Yeah, and then the friends they went out looking for him at that same time or around
After
1
he didn't check in. to let them know that he got there.
All right, so we'll say around 1 a.m. to 5 something in the morning, this young man's body was missing. And who knows what happened probably before the 12 a.m. hour. It could have happened before that, but I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this, that 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then we get to 9 o'clock, there's a 2 hour gap from 5 to 7, from 7 to 9. I'm trying to find out what happened in meantime in between all these gaps. If the friends so called discovered him around 5 something in the morning, and the lady that was jogging discovered him so called around 7 something in the morning, and then they report to the family around 9 something in the morning that he was first found in his room, and the times are not adding up. I don't believe it.
Okay. Tanya, what do you say?
That done changed my whole thought process, because where was he coming from at that time in the morning? And what friends was he with? Okay, and who was his roommates? Was he in the dorm by himself? Did he have a room by himself, or did he have roommates? There's a whole lot of misinformation here now. So that done changed my whole way of thinking. I think that it could have happened in the room, because there's a whole lot of time that things could have happened in between the time frame that Robert just pointed out. Like, he what time did he was with his friends? Like, what time did he start heading home? And then he didn't check in. So what friends weren't looking for him? Was it, if it was his roommates, was they the ones looking for him? Or was it the people he left when he didn't check in start looking for him? There's a whole lot of bullshit in the air. It stinks.
Sean, what you say?
Sorry. This is crazy. The more I hear everyone's take on it, it's really baffling. I'm sorry, I'm lost for words on this. This I'm sorry, come back to me. This is.
Yep, no worries. Duchess, I'm gonna go to you next. So, according to eyewitnesses, the students, Trey Reed's body was truly found during the hour of 5 a.m. as opposed to the reported hour of 7 a.m. Do you think that somebody is purposely trying to mislead us? And if so, who?
I don't know who, because the who would be who did it.
Right.
There's too many gaps in this in what was said, or what's now being said, or the discrepancy from the first version that we've been given versus these newer accounts. So I think that it is. I mean, now it could be a few people who's trying to deceive. The people who did it, the people who know the truth and now are trying to make it something else. The people who put out, the school or whatever, who put out this two different things to the parents versus the news. There's a lot of people trying to cover up some stuff.
Yet another Mississippi cover-up. That's what's going on here. Gregory, what do you say?
I agree with Tanya and Kiana. The world is a stage, like I said again, and you had these people react the way they did when this Charlie Kirk dude got killed. So it's only right for them to try to to try to play on the black people about this hanging situation because once again, nothing the media doesn't move without the black community. So when you have these people setting up these stages to make you angry, you should really think before you actually react to the media when they're putting this shit out to it. Because once
Mm,
again, he was not the only person hung in the last 2 to 3 years. And within recent weeks, it was more than just him that has been hung. Not only that it's Mississippi and it's a notorious sundown city, you really should question who his friends was, like Tanya was saying,
Mm-hmm.
because what friend is going to allow their friend to walk home by themselves, being a person of color, knowing that, and then once again you question is the skin color of the roommates and the friends,
Mm.
because now are you guys a part of this plot to hang this black boy? Or to kill him, or will sacrifice him, whatever y'all are doing on these ley lines.
mm.
Sean, you want to take a shot at that question, or you want to move on to the next one?
No, I'll take a shot. I'm with the panel on this. There's a cover up, in my opinion, across the board. Like whatever the relationships are with everyone that's involved, like what place, position, status, whatever. Like, me personally, I don't know who these so-called friends are that found him, what nationality they are, what group of people they could be a part of. So, I mean, it's just a cover up across the board, which is going to be interesting when it all is said and done,
Mm-hmm.
however the story pans out.
Yeah, what I find alarming is you're gonna tell me that the new Black Panther Party was able to conduct a more thorough investigation than the so-called professionals.
But isn't that what's been happening down there in all of those type? Look at Emmett Till.
Exactly, exactly. And
They
and
had to have the freedom fighters come down there.
and just so you guys know, another little fun fact: when the police officials learned that the new Black um party, excuse me, the new Black Panther Party touched down, they kindly asked them to leave their town. When do police officers with authority ask anybody that does not have authority to kindly leave?
All the
They
time
gonna hang them all
because
up at sundown.
because what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep order in your town. And
Exactly.
if you have outsiders coming in and agitating us or agitating the people,
Mm-hmm.
like that's why there's going to be different stories that's going to come up because some people may start feeling a sense of security
Mm-hmm.
to be able to speak up on whatever's going on.
Okay. Stay right there because I'm gonna hit y'all with the next one. All right. Question number 5. According to Delta State University students, this tragedy stems from an online debate between black and white students in regards to who else? Charlie Kirk. So young Trey Reed was participating in a debate, an online debate about the death of Charlie Kirk. Now, they can prove this, but they can't prove nothing else. So again, why don't y'all take that figure out who was present during that what's the name, that online debate, and you should be questioning them. Sean, how you feel about this? They said this tragedy stems from an online debate about Charlie Kirk's death. How do you feel about that?
I mean, anything's possible. Like I said, until we get the full details of everything, everything is all speculation. Everything is just whatever is going to come down out of all this with their huge and just trying to piece any and everything together, trying to make sense out of something that's not making any sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, pause right there. We're gonna take a little time to pay the bills. And Sean just alluded to t-shirt that we have in the store, and it's one of Kiana's favorite t-shirts, and it is "You Can't Make Sense Out of Nonsense." Robbie, tell everybody where they can find this t-shirt.
You can find that T-shirt and more. You will find fashions in all brands, and we forever use serum, Stellar Man, Dr. Paris, SOS support our sisters, Dr. Paris Ladies First, some merch in EmporiumPlus.org. And for you viewers that's been hanging with us, we appreciate you. For those that haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Viewers, come on now, smash that like button, spam a comment, keep doing what you do, because we are too. Thank you.
All right. And again, you can find all these things at EmporiumPlus.org. EmporiumPlus.org is an online store. It is a one-stop shop. All right, let's move on to the next person. Patsy, they said this tragedy is stemming from an online debate between black and white students in regards to Charlie Kirk's death. What do you say?
If it was true, just because you don't agree with somebody does not mean you have to go out and kill somebody. But I don't always believe the hype about that he said, she said, blah blah blah. It's like that could be misinformation and misleading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Timmy, these students of Delta State University are stating that this tragedy stems from an online debate between black and white students in regards to the death of Charlie Kirk. Do you believe this?
I don't believe none of that nonsense. I mean, because you can say what you. That's why so many people hide behind the goddamn computer, the screen, the fucking board, the type board and shit, because they can portray to be something, and they can talk a lot of smack on it on social media, and if you don't be careful, you can get sucked into stuff that you really didn't want to be a part of, but because you are being sucked in by people conversation, people they do things to get you to respond, to get you to engage with them, and that's power. That's power someone have over you when you allow them to have that type of power. And I think that's what the internet is doing. It's getting power over people, and people thinking that they have so much power because they're hiding behind it. Oh, no one's never gonna figure out who it is. No one's never gonna. I'm too smart, for it to be caught. So I think that's what it is right there. And
Okay, say less. Duchess, what's your views The students of Delta State University claimed that this tragedy stems from an online debate between black and white students in regards to Charlie Kirk's death.
I mean, it's possible because a lot of stuff online is taken into the real life, into the real world. But I don't understand how quote unquote debate over somebody's death equals somebody else's death.
Say it.
It just doesn't make any sense. Pardon?
No, I said say it.
It no, it doesn't it doesn't equal each other, so it makes no sense. I feel like that's somebody's fishing. But I mean it is possible because these kids take, what's online as real world problems, truth, or whatever. And people got a lot of keyboard courage when you're behind than when you're in your room by themselves as opposed to in somebody else's face. So could be possible, but it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Like Judge Judy said, if it don't make sense, it ain't true.
Okay. Robert, same question. These students claim that this tragedy stems from an online debate about Charlie Kirk's death that occurred between both the black and white students.
Excuse me, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at the way I was thinking when I first heard it. Social media. It can name you. It can also kill you. These people go up there. Yeah, we can say all about their toughness and all that, but I want to bring to the viewers' attention. If we're talking about social media, why don't we use it as the weapon it really is? All of these children that was on there going back and forth with this young man having hate messages. You know the name of their web page or whatever they call themselves online. Take those names, get their addresses. The number one thing is everyone got a cell phone. Get the cell phones. See if you got any conversations going from this handset to the other. I can say you can also, I think they call it pinging. So if these kids actually had their cell phone, because some like to brag and take pictures for memories, and then some just keep their phone in their pocket on them. If they're in any of those areas during any of those hours that this young man could have been killed, then start with them.
Wow. Yeah. Tanya, what's your views?
I'm going to agree with a lot of what the panel said, and I'm agree with what Robert just said. And I'm going to add that I do believe that the debate could have, that it all could have stemmed from the debate online. I'm also going to say that people, especially the younger generation, they don't really do their research on the people that's involved. They just look at the quick clickbaits, and we all stem to stay into our own sphere of information. So those people were probably looking at the manosphere or the Charlie Kirks and all of that. So they didn't veer out to get any other information. And if he was debating with them about Charlie Kirk, all you have to do is take what Charlie Kirk was saying and show them who he really was. Take his words and show them who he really was. And a lot of these Charlie Kirk people who followed him, they're really upset that we are not showing any empathy to a man who said that he hates the word empathy. that empathy was a sign of weakness, and he basically showed them a mirror of themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gregory, what do you say?
Can I get the question again, Big Dope?
So, according to the Delta State University students, this tragedy stems from an online debate about Charlie Death. Excuse me, I keep calling him Charlie Death. Charlie Kirk's death. And it occurred between both the white and black students.
Once again, it's no coincidence. The world is a stage, and they did exactly what they were aiming to do. You got this guy going around promoting white superiority that gets killed, and then you got the black community that laughs in the face of this guy. So now they're hanging black people. It's just all once again it's the same thing that they do all the time. They turn the people of the country against each other while the rich sneak away and get richer.
Mm-hmm. Let me say this to the young people. Let me just say this to America, the Americas, uh, white America and black America, because those are the two feuding parts of America. Currently, everything else stems from them if you let them tell it. Uh, so I think the reason why I keep calling this man uh Charlie Death, because this man, he's dead. And the hate that he spewed should have died with him. But y'all are trying so hard to resuscitate, to continue to breathe life into something that should remain dead. And that is the hate mongering that he was a proud component of. So that's my views on it. Y'all sitting there going back and forth about this individual that didn't care about you when he was alive. And the people that claim to care about him care even less about you. But you sitting here feuding about this man's death, and you know he was spewing hate, and it was hate that took him up out of here. So y'all need to think about that. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 6. Woo. Um, According to Delta State University students, both the Mississippi Police Force and Delta State University officials have now resorted to using intimidation tactics and coercion in hopes of suppressing any incriminating evidence. Woo.
Resorted. This is what they do. This isn't nothing new. This isn't a resort. They're doing their usual tactics.
Okay, that's your answer. Patsy, what's your answer?
It ain't nothing new. A lot of the southern states, counties, in different states, use exactly this tactic. They pair up with the universities, depending on where the university is, and in some states, it's throughout the whole state that actually pair up with the state police or local town police to cover up a murder of someone that's of color or Hispanic, and as long as they're non-white, they don't give a hoot.
Hmm. Well said, well said. Timmy, what's your views? Is it shocking to hear this, that this is what these people are supposedly now doing? Robert?
No, it don't shock me. It don't shock me. I seen something about that right there, where students was talked to, and some of them did speak out, and they was told not to say anything, suppress it. It was for their good. Who knows what good that is? I can speculate and say it's maybe you're going to be kicked out of their, university. Who knows? Or they can just mess with you in so many ways. Just say that you're not passing. A lot of things can go wrong for you. If you speak out, so some of them are very scared to say something, and then you got the ones that is going to stand up and let you know what really happened. So it doesn't surprise me that they're telling them to be quiet.
Okay. Students are speaking out. Kiana, according to the Delta State University students, both the Mississippi Police Force and the Delta State University officials are now resorting to using intimidating tactics as well as coercion in an attempt to silence the students.
They wouldn't have to do that if they weren't lying.
Well said. Well said.
You only need to resort to those when you lie.
Sean, what you say?
Yes, very good, Kiana. Um, I'm with Sister Kia on this one. Um, it's just a matter of them trying to control the narrative and keep the story right where it's at. Trying to make it seem like we're going to handle this ourselves. We don't need no outside help. Just be quiet. Let's not draw any more attention than that's already necessarily here.
I agree. I agree. Tanya, what's your
I
views?
agree. I agree with the panel. Everybody touched on something that's absolutely facts.
Okay. Stay right there, T. Question number 7. Should the Black students of Delta State University remain on campus and live in fear, or should they seek an education elsewhere?
That is a good question. Um, that's a good question. And I have two ways of thinking about that. Because there's an attack on us on free speech and our civil rights, our liberties as it is right now. So I'm assuming that the makeup outweighs the minorities on the campus.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would be difficult for them to band together and stand their ground. So part of me wants to say, stand together, band together and stand your ground, because you got to fight against that type of behavior. If you run from it, it just makes it permeate and become worse. But then they put in their lives at risk. So that's something that they would have to make that their own individual decision on what they would want to do. I don't want to put that out in that what I think that they should do, because I'm not walking in their shoes.
Well, I think you said it correctly. They have an option. There's a couple of things they can do. So I think you stated it correctly. You got more?
No, that's why I'm leaving with that.
Okay. Timmy, you with us?
Yeah.
So do you think that the Black students should remain on campus and live in fear, or should they seek an education elsewhere?
I don't think that's what they want them to be fair. And if we learned anything from the ancestors before us, how they stood up, how they did everything to do everything at them to discourage them, and it didn't work. So I think you that those students there shouldn't feel fear. Hey, let's walk, let's show them we walking together, not just the blacks, but all the students that are there, which they can it can all be make a big impact. But because they got uh the dividing, they got division out there, and you know, incentives for people that is not of color. So yeah, I think it's just all a setup to drive them out of there. But if you can show force of standing together, then we can beat them back.
Okay. Patsy, did I hear your views yet? Patsy?
Think about where they're going to school. Like we said earlier, investigate where you're thinking of going to school and go from there. And if you feel like it's not a safe environment, especially as a parent,
Mm-hmm.
looking at these different schools and all, you should be looking at the dynamics of culture and race and everything like that, and the diversity of the town that that particular college is in, as opposed to, do you really want your child there and risk
Has left the meeting.
their health and their
Please join the
safety?
meeting.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my take on it.
Well said, well said. Robert, what's your views? Should the black students of Delta State University remain on campus living in fear, or should they seek an education elsewhere?
Oh wow, that could be tricky because what are you standing for then? You, I guess you always speak your people fought so long for you to have some type of grounding, some type of equal standing grounds, and something like this is not going to stop happening. You guys got into their schools, so we can say, yes, let's lock them out from our schools that we run to. They somehow are still going to terrorize or do something to cause some type of chaos in your new beginning. So that's like starting over. I think you should stand your ground, work this out down there and everywhere else that this shit is going on. Don't run from a fight because that's the most easiest thing to do. Let's try standing our grounds and trying to come to some type of solace, so some unity, get somewhere before you just run away and pack it on up because that's not doing anything because it's going to continue to happen.
Okay.
Now, but see, here's the thing: they have no problem when they want to recruit the black athletes. You see, they want to and have to recruit those black athletes, and they go all out their way to bring those black athletes into their schools so their schools can get money for being on TV and get the
Endorsements.
endorsements and stuff. So that's what that is. And so the other kids that's going there to learn, they don't really care about them. All they care about their athletes.
Hmm. Okay. Kiana, should the black students of Delta State University remain on campus and live in fear, or should they seek an education elsewhere? Duchess? Okay, she might be having mic problems. Kiana, turn your mic on.
No, I'm not, but go skip me and come back. I gotta wash my hands.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
came from outside.
got it, got it. Gregory, same question.
Actually, no, I can answer the question.
Okay, go ahead. Should the black students of Delta State University stay on campus living in fear, or should they seek an education elsewhere?
I mean, if you're living in fear, how can you have a good education? How can you learn in a hostile environment?
Mm,
If they fear that they're in fear, they have the right to take their money and their bodies somewhere else.
mm. I like that hostile environment. I like that reference. Gregory, what do you say?
Yes, they should go elsewhere because us as black people, we're not understanding the landlord's game as to where these people have us in these properties until we wear them down, and then they come back and they take it over when the property's at the low value, and then they fix it up and then they sell it at high value. So you got to understand, us as black people, we don't really tap into those pockets for some reason. And like Malcolm X said, when we do get our own things, the white man comes peeking over the fence. And then, like I just said, they end up coming back fully to integrate into your neighborhood and take your shit at the end after your grandmother done worked her whole life to pay for this property.
Mm, okay. Sean, what's your views? Should the black students of Delta State University remain on campus living in fear, or should they seek an education elsewhere?
Um, I would deem the question: are they living in fear? Because, and I say that because of the fact that we don't know what the true story is,
Mm,
and it like what you guys brought up tonight about the online debate that he was a part of. That was the first of me hearing something like that.
mm-hmm,
And so I hear that and I think that this could have been possibly an isolated incident, if that makes any sense.
could be.
To
That's what they
wit,
tried to say at first. They tried to say this was an isolated incident. That's
mm-hmm.
what they initially reported.
And my other thing is, what was the tension or what was the atmosphere like prior to this?
Mm,
You know, like did anyone see that this is a potential of something like this happening on our campus?
mm,
And I wanted to say this too, yo. Us as black people, we always don't want to be somewhere where we're not wanted until it's somewhere that we know we're not supposed to have our black asses.
mm. Okay. Sean, you got more?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. I'm gonna give y'all a little fun fact. According to research, the KKK's plan was to run the black man off of the land, off of their land. Hmm, not surprising. All right, so that brings us to question number 8. Question number 8, Sean, I'm gonna start with you. Should reports of black people found hanging from trees in Mississippi arouse your suspicion, despite your race, gender, age, political views, and religious affiliation?
Not at all. I mean, because I was born into a world that had a history, and that state and many other southern states that had that same mindset, that's how they operated. Now you would think that okay, it's 2025 where they're still doing this at, but this is a part of the world to where this capital punishment by hanging is even a way of life in certain countries. So just because time changes doesn't always mean that the mindset of individuals that have been taught or believe a certain way changes.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And I even said time changes, but has time really changed?
Mm, mm. Yeah, as much as they claim we have evolved, mankind as a whole has evolved. No,
Age delusion.
yeah, I'm questioning that.
I'll say something to that. Um, I say mankind has evolved, and to the degree to where um, the 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 non-whites community doesn't have that same mindset that our people had back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
to where there are some of us that may want to, play along to get along, keep the peace, just live our life, this, that, and the other. But there's a different type of militant to some of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we can try to get them with the educate, by staying educated and try to tackle it that way. But if we need to get physical, I think the playing field is a lot different now than it was back in the day.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. Gregory, what's your views? Um, so should reports of a black person found hanging from a tree in Mississippi arouse your suspicion despite your gender, race, age, political views, or religious affiliations?
Oh no, I just find it suspicious that they're publicizing it, and like I said, there was many other hangings around the same time in multiple different states, and they used the Mississippi state to publicize the hanging problem to the community. So it's just crazy knowing the history of Mississippi once again and where it's located at, for
Mm-hmm.
them to get people's emotions involved in something they probably did as a ritualistic sacrifice. I don't even know if you go back in time. I'm like, when did Emmett Till get sacked? When did they do that to Emmett Till? And it probably is every other 10 years, some type of tragic brutality that's happening to a black person down there on a scale all the way up to this time. You get what I'm saying? So
Do
it's
your
no coincidence.
do your research on that, and if you find out the answer before the end of the show, wait for a break in the discussion and then enlighten us. Timmy, what's your views? Should reports of black people hanging from a tree in Mississippi arouse your suspicion despite your race, gender, age, political views, or religious affiliation?
No, I don't think it should. I think you you you, you keep fighting because that's what got independence. That's what got everything that we have today that is fighting. And you have to keep doing that and come together, not just us as a whole, but all all races as a whole come as one, and you can get a lot of shit done because we though we have it bad and we've been through it more than most people who have been through it, but we also survived, and we from generation to generation, the skill of surviving has been passed down. So we know how to survive in crisis and things. Those who don't know how to survive in crisis and haven't have everything given to them and not knowing the meaning of struggle, they're the ones that's having the most difficulty.
Well said, well said. Robert, let's get your views.
Could you hit me with the question?
Yep. Should reports of black people found hanging from trees in Mississippi arouse your suspicion, despite, and I repeat, despite your gender, race, age, political views, or religious affiliation?
No. I'll leave you with this. This would get me wondering and clicking because I expect this type of stuff to be in the news. But when you start showing me news clippings or reportings of white young men being hung in a tree, then I'll be like, huh?
Okay. All right, ladies, thank you for waiting. Patsy, you're up first.
Um, and not so much the hangs or killings they would arouse my suspicions. It's like you got 20 different stories on the take of a particular incident. And then um you want to do it to shame and put fear in a particular race. I kind of like went back to like back in the day when and they did it more to women with the scarlet letter to shame a woman for adultery or witchcraft or whatever they feel like the woman did wrong, to shame them and put them to kind of like make them kind of like hide away and cowards again, like from society. So it's more to ridicule um the black community for getting an education, because in this country um they don't really want the black community, his anyone that's non-white, to not really get an education here in this country. So they're gonna do anything to steer you away from getting a good education at a well-to-do school, because they got high ratings and good reviews. Like the professors there are great. They have an excellent graduate rating and everything like that, and the marks of the students that graduate and go there are really high and dear. And this is really for the white community, not for anyone else. So they're gonna do anything they can to put a scarlet letter on anyone that's non-white, to deter you from getting your education at that facility.
Well said, well said. Duchess, what's your views?
Hmm.
Do you mind repeating the question? I was.
No worries, I got you. Um, sh okay, should reports of black people hanging from trees in Mississippi arouse your suspicion, despite your age, gender, race, political views, and religious affiliation?
Of course, anybody, I mean, any killing, whether it be a lynching or a shooting, should arouse anybody's suspicion, regardless of your age, gender, religious background, any of that. Race, you should question it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well said, well said. Tanya, what's your views?
Arouse my suspicion in what regards?
The fact that you hear reports of black people hanging from trees in Mississippi.
I'm gonna say yes and no. Yes, it should arouse anybody's suspicion, but no, because this is what they did in Mississippi, and this is who America is. They don't have any regard for humanity.
Okay, I agree with y'all. Yeah, I think that it don't matter who you are, where you're from. You should be suspicious when you hear stories like such, especially when it's black people and in that area, because it 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 screams foul play right away, and it's also it sounds the alarm far as I'm concerned. It's like black people pay attention to what they're doing down there because it can happen here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it. Tanya, stay right there. I'm gonna hit you with question number 9.
Oh hell no, Uncle D.
Not up north.
Okay, that's what people believe. That's how they
Not
rock
up
you to
north.
sleep. Okay.
Not up north.
Well, there ain't no rock in the street. They got a hidden segregation going on here.
All right. Well, let's see how y'all feel about this question. If the investigation of the Mississippi police force finds that the supposed suicide of Trey Reed is in fact a hate crime, will they prosecute the offending parties to the fullest extent of the law, despite, and I repeat, despite their race? Tanya?
Where would they, if it was found to be foul play?
That's right. If they find that this supposed suicide is in fact a hate crime, will
Mm-hmm.
they prosecute the offending parties to the full extent of the law despite their race? Translation, if they find out these individuals are white that committed this crime, are they going to prosecute them to the full extent of the law? We ain't going to tippy toe around it.
Yeah, no, they're not. And I say that because this country is being ran by a corrupt individual, and he's turned the Justice Department into corrupt individuals, and so I'm gonna say no.
Okay. All right. Patsy, what do you say?
Considering the state and area where this college is at, held to the no. Although it is a federal crime.
Ooh, that's a good one, Patsy. And that is probably why they're trying to write it off as a suicide. So that, mm-hmm. Yeah. Duchess, what do you say?
I'm sorry. What was the question exactly?
If the investigation of the Mississippi police force finds that this supposed suicide is in fact a hate crime, will they prosecute the offending parties to the full extent of the law despite their race?
I mean, Mississippi is not known for being,
Fair.
fair and justice is blind.
Very blind.
In in nor in normal times, I would say that this is something that the federal investigations should take over, but because they're run by a bunch of clowns and incompetent people, I wouldn't trust them. So I don't really know if anybody is going to be held accountable justly for
Mm,
this young man's death.
okay. Timmy, what do you say?
I agree with Kiana. I also I think if the shoe was on the other foot, how we all know how the story would play out, you know. So I just think that I want to believe that he would get justice, him and his family, but I don't see it because of their past and prejudice.
Okay, well said, well said. Robert, what do you say?
Hi. Hit me with the question, please.
If the investigation of the Mississippi police force finds that this supposed suicide is in fact a hate crime, will they prosecute the offending parties to the fullest extent of the law, despite their race?
They don't have no chance of being fair in Mississippi, and it's not going to change. So I say they're not going to prosecute those or that individual, because I don't know if it was one or um a few people that have committed this crime if they rule as a crime. um no, my answer is no. I don't think they'll get something like summer camp. It's not going to affect their education. It's not going to what is it going to really do to them? They're going to get a slap on the wrist, probably, if anything, and move on with their lives.
Hmm. Okay, well said, well said. Gregory, what's your views?
With these Bible wielding clan members, I think these people are heavy into devil worship, and that kid being sacrificed down there is going to remain a cold case because if somebody ends up being prosecuted for this whole thing, it's way bigger fish to fry because now we got to look into their their department of whatever the hell they got down there, and then we got to look into the school, then we got to look into the roommates, and now it's a whole bunch of players on the dots that got to go down in this whole case. And once again, they're historically known for getting away with this type of behavior. So once again, these people are out there hanging black people.
Hmm. Okay. Sean?
Hang them jigaboos.
I'm gonna go out on a limb with this one and say, let's just say, hypothetically, they do find out the information that they find out and proceed to prosecute in, to the full extent of the law. And out of all the scenarios that was put out there, let's say he was killed behind, like I said, the news that you all enlightened me with tonight, that he was killed behind the whole Charlie Kirk debate. With the individuals that we have in office, I would not be surprised if the individual would try to do a pardon.
Oh, oh, that
I know I went way out left, but that's
Pardon
just
for
where
a
we
hanging
at.
is crazy.
yeah, yeah, I mean,
Son, you
they,
might be on to something right there.
if I wouldn't put anything past them at this point,
Yeah,
that whole administration.
that's
I
true.
definitely was gonna say
That's
Well,
that.
true.
where's Diddy's pardon?
Sean hit it on
Hey,
the
let's
He
keep
nose.
it to what we
he
talk.
don't
Hey,
he
keep it to what we talking about. Go
Sean hit
ahead,
it on.
Robbie.
Sean hit it on the nose. I agree with that because at this time our country is being run by, let's see a word, a non-docile government. They're not going to submit to anything. They're not submissive. They're definitely not obedient, and they're totally out of control. But they want all control.
Let's make America great again.
In the
Yes, it is.
words of Loaded Lux, let that man work, man. Let him work.
All right, so I'm gonna say this. We're gonna move on to question number 10. But before I do, um, yeah, Mississippi is a bunch of card carrying clans members, so I don't think that anything is gonna become of this. Because they may not even consider this as well, they said suicide, and I think suicide is a crime against God, but I don't know if it's a crime against man's law. It's a crime, the law of God, but I that's what I mean to say, but I don't know what it is, whereas man's law is concerned, if suicide is considered to be a criminal offense. I'm not certain
it
of that.
ain't.
Mm, okay. Well,
It's
that
only criminal if somebody help you. That's
okay.
why Dr. Kevorkian got arrested.
All right. Let's go to question number 10. Has Trey Reed's death received national media coverage? If not, why? Timmy?
It ain't important. And the president wants you to be focused on other shit that he's spewing. He wants you to believe that it's a war going on in our own country. And he portrays to be mad with Putin, knowing that he allowing Putin to do everything that he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything that he's doing will come back to him and bite him hard because you reap what you sow.
All right. Enough said. Enough said. Patsy, what's your views? Has Trey Reed's death received national media coverage? If not, why?
Um, it hasn't really reached the national news because given the fact that all this rhetoric behind of what actually happened and all the lying and deceitfulness, they don't want the truth to come up out in the public's eye, and they're afraid that if this really isn't been truly a crime of passion and hate, they don't want the FBI to step in and take over the case and really prosecute and get all the information and truly get the videos that led up to this event. And they don't want whatever these students, whoever they are to the staff at this university, they're afraid this university, not only their kids are going to be put in jail, but the university is going to get shut down. And the ones that are covering up in the, as like the president and CEO of this college, they're going to go to jail because they've allowed this to go on for so many years.
It's a cover up, and what else is there to
What I'm
uncover?
saying. That's exactly what I just said. They've been covering this up for years. This is not the first incident, like you said before, Gray. They this is not the first time this miss has happened.
Okay.
It's happened over the years, and now it's gonna something like this is coming to a head, and they don't want this to come out to the light.
Okay.
Keep everything in the dark.
Gregory,
And can I get the question again in the entirety?
has Trey Reed's death received national media coverage? If not, why?
Nationwide is, yeah, it got national media coverage all over because of social media, and then it was on every big news station, and that is for a reason too. Once again, like I told you, I believe these people are devil worshippers. Even the media outlet, they wanted people to see this and have this in your fear mongering, as y'all said once again, and harbor that in one and it what did we came into what the fall harvest, right? We came into the equinox or something like that, and these people do these sacrifices astrologically all the time. So it's just nuts to see them do it, and then people actually react to what they're doing, because on a mass scale, I want you people to cause chaos. And that's what happens, especially after we set up the pieces of Charlie Kirk to make it look like it's a black white thing, and it's really not.
Okay. Duchess, what do you say?
I'm sorry, I lost the
No
question.
worries. Has Trey Reed's death received national media coverage? If not, why?
Oh, absolutely not. Why? Because he's black. Because he's a black male. America doesn't give a rat's ass about black people, especially black men.
Hmm. Okay. Robert?
The only coverage that Trey's story has been blasted all through is black and brown media.
Mm-hmm.
That's the importance and the power of the people
That's not true,
of
yo.
his race,
Let him finish.
his people that will post the wrong up there and give you a chance to do research on it. Because of black and brown media, the ABCs, the Fox 25s, the NBCs, the CBS, and so on, had no choice but to do some type of coverage on it because they couldn't silence the black and brown media. It spoke in volumes.
Okay. All right. Tanya, what do you say?
I agree with Kiana, and I agree with Robert. And I'm gonna add that it didn't get national coverage because, like she said, he was the wrong color and It didn't fit their narrative. Charlie Kirk's death got national coverage. He got flags hung at half staff, something that's usually reserved for dignitaries. And it didn't fit their narrative. So no, it didn't get national coverage, and that is why.
Okay. Sean?
Yes, I'm in agreement with Robert, Kiana, and Tanya to where I'm gonna speak more to what Robert said. Black media is very important because right now we have an administration that is monopolizing, and I hope I said that word right,
Yes, you did.
monopolizing the whole media spectrum.
The
And
legacy
so,
media,
I'm sorry.
the legacy media spectrum.
Mm-hmm. And so whatever whatever it is that they want us to know about, that's
right.
what's going to be on the main media circuit.
That's right.
That's
So
what's.
go ahead,
Yep,
Sean.
I'm good. I'm good. Nope, I'm good.
Didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
So that's like kind of back in the times of the newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
where crimes committed against our people didn't make front page. But
Mm-hmm.
if Betsy Ross dropped a bottle of milk and cut her finger, that made front page.
So I can't let y'all do that, y'all, because in all actuality, even the family didn't know what happened to this boy until the news dropped the story. It didn't
Local,
have nothing to do.
local.
It did. It
That
didn't
wasn't
have nothing.
national. That
When the
wasn't
listen to me,
national.
when the local news dropped the story, everybody picked it up, and it went viral. It went viral
No,
because
But
it
do
went
you remember
viral
what the?
because Charlie Kirk just got killed.
But did you hear what the question was?
National, not
He said
local.
he used the word specifically
I said
national.
all the other stations picked it up all over the nation, the United States. That story went viral.
No, it hasn't.
No,
I
it
haven't heard it on
has
the
not.
news up here
It
at
has
I
all.
was
not.
about to say, all you gotta do is
Exactly.
look it up right now. I can put it on the screen
But
if y'all
that's
want me
just
to
it.
put it
Listen,
on.
listen to what you just
Exactly,
said, though.
Kiana.
Listen to what
I
you
ain't
just
That
heard
said,
doesn't
though,
no
make no
news.
Gregory.
I
sense. The New
Hold
definitely
York
didn't
on,
hear that.
Post,
hold on.
ABC,
Listen to
Fox,
what you just said. You said
that's national.
if you look it up, you have to look it up to find it.
No, I'm
None
saying
of
if you look
Exactly.
it up, all these news cover they all covered the story. They all the
listen,
but
news
listen to
they
outlets.
let
covered
me
the
speak
That's
and you'll
story.
national.
understand. You let me
They
speak
covered the
and you'll get
story
it.
because the black and brown media was talking
But
about it.
how is that true if the family didn't know about him dying until the media dropped it and then it went viral hot?
It was
Did you
It
local
was
not? That
though.
was
all
local news.
it
That's what
That
was
they
was
found
no,
out
local.
about.
it was local, then it went national, is what I'm saying to you. It went
No,
viral
no, it
from
Hey,
the
didn't.
it
local.
went
Greg,
if it went viral, it was on social
social
media,
media.
not
It was on
the
all news outlets.
national news. Like
Um,
They
Social
pick
ABC.
it
media
up.
is not social
Okay,
media is
okay.
not the national
I'm
news.
I'm gonna
I
ask you
said
something,
Exactly.
Exactly.
Gregory.
ABC, New York Post, New York Times, all of these stations all had this story going when it first happened. When they first came out with it in their local city, is what I'm saying to y'all. It went viral. And it wasn't because of what y'all are saying. It's because of the Charlie Kirk situation. It's to entice a race war. It's
Well,
to make
I'm
us fight
sorry.
each other.
The news reports on multiple stories every day. Two things could be true at the same time. It was not on our local news on
It
that
definitely
same day,
wasn't.
or this next day, or even the day after that.
and
So
here
I
it
don't
is, what,
know.
a week later, and you still have you seen this on CNN?
I
Well,
just
Yeah,
told
I
because
don't
you
really
know
watch
why?
CNN, but I
you
watch
where it
our local
was.
news every
It
night.
ain't been on
I
So
CNN.
just
I
named
again,
watched
all the
it.
stations they aired this story on.
So so until this story gets
NBC,
into
ABC,
and
New York Post, New
until
York Times. That is national coverage. That's our news outlets. The
until
Guardian,
Yeah,
this story.
yeah. I think I seen it in the
NBC News, all of
in the
these
post.
places dropped this
They had a
story when it first came out.
All
they
right,
That's
had a
national coverage.
all right. So let me say this
yes.
to you.
It was definitely in the post. They had a little small capture.
It doesn't
Exactly. So
matter how.
Black
Listen,
boy get killed in
it was a
Mississippi.
retaliation to Charlie Kirk because we
okay,
laughed at the
but
dude.
Gregory, you're just basically you're supporting what we're saying in a roundabout way. The question is, has Trey Reed's death received national media coverage? If not, why? So the panel members were giving you their perspective, their opinion as to why it has not. So if you've seen that and that's your take on it, we don't agree with you because it has not received the coverage at the level that Charlie
Charlie
Kirk's
Kirk got.
And
supposed
that's what we're
assassination
speaking on.
got.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Now that
It's
is
all working
national media.
simultaneously.
And
I've seen both of them.
No,
You
because
can't. There's
because
no way
if
in the
it,
world, Gregory, you
And
can
here's
say
the
that you
other
saw
thing.
the
Here's the
same
other thing.
level.
The
that's right. If
president
all
didn't.
lives are considered to be are
There's no way you can say that.
valuable,
One is being portrayed in a different light.
No, listen
here's
to
what we're
this.
saying.
Listen to this.
Maxine
There, this.
Maxine Delane is getting more coverage than this kid is.
Go
Listen
ahead,
to
Tanya.
this. The president said nothing about the politicians in Minnesota that got killed. He said nothing about
Right.
the people who died in the floods. He said nothing about the shootings that happened. The only thing he talked about that got on his bully pulpit and talked about was Charlie Kirk's death.
And
Everything else he didn't mention.
and if we keeping track, keeping score, nor did they give it the coverage that they gave that young lady that got stabbed by that insane black man on the train, I believe.
That went viral too. What are you talking
But
about?
it got more national coverage than Trey Reed's murder. Nor have you heard anything about this young black lady that just got stabbed to death by this racist white man? No, you haven't heard nothing about that. So we ain't gonna sit up here and act like that they ain't picking and choosing what they want to put on the news, the national
Man,
news.
listen, if a racist white man stabbed up a black lady, that would be all over your news. You know
If
why?
a if
Because they
a
want to
black
scare
racist
you.
if a racist black man stabbed a white woman, I would be just as passionate about what I'm saying right now. You don't get to pick and choose what people's lives are worth. You don't get to pick and choose what you cover. Well, actually, you do because the wealthy white man's clan is going to make certain of that. Because, like I said before, he who controls the narrative tells the story and
Yes,
owns
sir.
the story. And that's what that's about. We ain't
I
gonna
agree
make
with
these
that.
people into good Samaritans like they care about our well-being, because they don't. And that's gonna bring us to the last question of the night. We're gonna go to question number 11. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all wanted it. Y'all got it. Whew. All right. This is bad. We're gonna go to question number 11. All right. Question number 11. How much longer does America expect the black race to endure suffering? Gregory, I'm gonna start with you.
As long as the wrong people are in power of this, whatever the hell it is, this business, it's gonna always go that way because those are the people that are controlling the monopoly board. We gotta understand the landlord's game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you for your participation. All right. Patsy, how much longer can America ignore the suffering of Black Americans?
For as long as they can possibly can.
Okay. Rob, what you say?
I'm here. I'm going to say this is never going to end. I think the day we see a change is when that man shines a day of life down here and collect everything that has some true righteous meaning to it. That's my answer.
Okay. Thank you for your participation. So we heard from Robert, we heard from Gregory, we heard from Patsy. Timmy, what's your views?
Uh, well, all I have to say is keep fighting the power.
Okay. All right. In the words of Public Enemy, fight the power. All right. I'll take that. Thank you for your participation. Okay, we got Tanya, we got Sean, we got Kiana. Tanya, let's get your views.
Okay.
How much longer can America ignore the suffering of Black America?
I'm going to say that it's going to continue to go on until we as the people look to where our help comes from, and he says enough is enough.
Okay.
And that means the when where our help comes from up yonder.
She talking about G-O-D.
G-O-D. J-U-S-U-S.
Okay.
That's right.
Duchess, let's get your views.
As long as people in high places support white supremacy, I'm going to quote Buzz Lightyear from Infinity to Beyond.
Ooh.
Mm.
Thank you for your participation. Sean, take us home.
Agree with the excuse me. As long as the powers to be that are in place right now keep striving and fighting to keep control, they will always try to keep their foot on our necks.
All right. Well said. All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another episode of the Still a Man podcast. Stay tuned because the saga continues.